Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Let's Play .hackgu Volume 3. This is Some Type of Artist, and I haven't recorded this in like, I don't know, a week? Probably more. I ended up getting really sick, so my voice was definitely not in the best frame of whatever. My voice sucked, so yeah. So I'm just getting it back now. So I wanted to try recording a little something just to see how it would go, because I'm kind of annoyed that I kind of lost a week's worth of work on this project, because it is very long and I would really like to wrap it up. So I'm not sure what we're doing this episode. I think we're on the way to fight Ovan at some point, but we're not actually fighting Ovan in this episode. I think that's how it goes. Don't quote me on it. But first, we gotta check our email or something. So from Pi, I have something I need to tell all of you regarding Fidel's prophecy. Assemble at Raven's at home. Very good, Pi. Thank you so much.
Did she find out anything about the prophecy?
I don't know, Haseo. What do you think? Sometimes I honestly feel like Haseo doesn't read the same mail that we just read. It's... I don't know. There was one in the tournament that bugged me so much, and I can't even remember what it was. But it was something. God, I don't know. I don't know. What's going on here? We always get the gray world loading screen when there's a cutscene. Oh, it's Ovan in his white room that he hangs out with and his little girl.
Ina, where did you go?
Anyone else think it's like super creepy that he has this little girl in a pure white room? Just saying.
What a beautiful story. Maybe even my new favorite.
Oh my god. Ina's...
Ovan?
Ina's fucking gigantic lock of hair that just like covers her whole middle of her face. Why is it so big? It's gigantic. It's like a mask almost.
Ovan, I'm scared.
Oh, so this is when Ovan was infected by Ida. When he and Ida became dangerous friends. He even gets his little weird eye infection that Haseo got in the tournament. I can't take her serious. That strand of hair is just like gigantic. Why? Why is it that big? It's not even like pushed to the side or anything. It's like this literal like blade that like separates her two eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. And yeah, this is how Ina became comatose, even though she's walking around and doing whatever now. Yes, very sad, very touching. Oh look, there she is. Guess it wasn't that big deal after all.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're back. Can you move? Wait a minute. Could Ida have done something to you?
I mean, from the cutscene we saw, it did. Isn't that the reason why she's stuck in here? Like, how long ago did this happen, Ovan? I'm assuming this all happened, like, before the game even started. Like, before Roots even started, but... I don't know.
Damn you to hell. Are you going to steal everything from
Anime,
me?
damn you to hell.
There's no more time.
You've mentioned that several times to Haseo, but here we are.
Resort.
No, I guess this was the only resort right from the start. Yeah, I remember that line from the next episode preview at the end of the last volume. I remember being like so excited for it too. It's like, what does he mean? What's Ovan's plan? God, Gee was the greatest game ever made.
Figured something out about the prophecy. Let's head to Raven's Attic.
I cannot believe how into this game I was like 10 years ago. I guess it shouldn't be that surprising, because I was a pretty big anime fan back then. But, man, just does not hold up nearly as well. I don't know. There's just like so many problems with this story that just either like too overdramatic, or they just don't make any sense, or they contradict each other. It's I don't know. Dot Hack's always really good about like building up the hype for something to happen, but it never really like delivers on the hype. Oh well.
There's only one reason why I would have called you all here.
Is it to thank us for saving your life?
The mysterious prophecy of Fidel of the Prophet.
So no. Cool. Same old yada.
Yes, about that. There's something about that prophecy that bothers me. It's the fact that it's referring to one specific person. Something about it seems odd.
I feel like if Pai's gonna stand up with Yada, she should have like some kind of podium or something. She just like looks weird, just like standing there by his like, not even by his side, just like several steps away. And Yada's got like this like stand and like the little sphere for the Serpent of Lore, and it's just like Pai's just like standing there awkwardly. For that matter, everyone else should have like chairs or something to sit in too. It's like what a weird room that like literally has nothing in it. It's so weird that like a room that has like so much like significance to the plot is like just like this barren empty room, and all it has is like a rug.
Footsteps of a giant shadow sound. Oh, blessed be the little one.
Blessed be the little one sounds like it would be like some kind of song lyric. But what bothers you? Pai, tell us.
And the key of Twilight in their right. Now I think, based on what we know, we could interpret the prophecy this way. A man who has Ida sealed in his left arm and also bears an epitaph.
You mean Ovan?
Where'd you get Ida and epitaphs from that?
If they shall be the one to lead the new gods to their twilight,
Then maybe Ovan's not a bad guy after all.
to do that, there's no one else it could be. The twilight of the gods?
Originally, that referred to the final war of the gods in mythology.
Yeah, I don't know if
The age
what
of the gods.
mythology Entrance is talking about here. I think he meant like the world's mythology or lore or whatever, but who cares? None of this matters. Let's
We shouldn't
Come on.
engage in further
hurry up.
conjecture.
Let's go.
Aw, man, this is such a big mess. What are we gonna do?
Remember, Ovan's always been behind Ida. I think we should go after him. Ovan is the key to all of this.
I think it's funny how, like, at the end of Volume 2, it should have been, like, very obvious that we should have been going after Ovan, and now, just 17 parts into this Let's Play of Volume 3, Haseo is just now saying, let's go after Ovan. Maybe he knows something about Ida.
Ovan.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing this video feed?
So all the Epitaph users have awakened. Finally.
So, was this all part of your plan?
Not at all. All of this has been coincidence upon happenstance. I believe we all have many things to talk about.
We do. We've been waiting a long time for it.
Crimes paraphrase.
And of course, we couldn't do it here.
Go there now, and use area hacking to enter the outer dungeon. In that place, I will tell you the truth.
I hope so. I hope it's not a little tease just to get us to go there for something else.
For you, Haseo.
Sigma immersed. Crimes paraphrase.
I will go with you.
Really? You're finally gonna join our party?
In front of the Chaos Gate. Come prepared.
And I almost think it's like so weird that like we've known Yada for like the majority of all three of these games, and he has never once even given us his member address. It's so weird, and we do get him as a party member, but we're not getting him quite yet. It's so dumb. Like he's even coming to the dungeon with us. Like this would be like the perfect time to like have him in our party for this, but he doesn't. It's like he just like shows up at like the start of each floor, and it's so dumb. It's so weird. Oh jeez. But anyway, how are all of you guys doing today? Man, I thought I was ready to do this, and now I'm already like feeling it. I can't go on for talking too long. This will probably be the only episode I record today, and I hope I feel good enough tomorrow to record some more, because gosh darn it, the show must go on. We still have a decent ways to go. I'd say we're definitely over the halfway point, right? I don't know. Let's see. I'm actually legit curious. How many parts do I have in the main recordings? About 47. And so like half of that would be like 23-ish. And this is... oh wow, this is part 17? Well, yeah, we actually might be like pretty close to the end of the game. I know there's... I know I'm going to actually probably do like 4 of these original parts in one episode instead. But, oh geez, what's going on here? I look away from the screen for 1 minute and already something different's happening. Oh yeah, we had another quest that I wanted to take care of really fast. Because why would we, after all this time, finally go to get the answers we've been looking for, when we can do a stupid little side quest that doesn't matter at all, and we could have done it any other time. Well, it doesn't matter. It is very short. I fast forward through it, so you don't have to wait too long for that. And it's a solo bike mission quest, so that's always fun. I actually like this quest a lot, even though I can't stand the voice of the goblins at all, so I think I kind of just, like, get rid of them, but... you do races against them, and it's not exactly... I kind of... it's weird, because it's like, I screw up at first, too. And... because it's... I don't think it's very clear exactly what the racetrack is, but...
Where there is light, there is shadow.
Yeah, after Negimaru, I'm like, no. No more voices. I don't want to hear annoying voices anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I like screwed up like for a while in this race because I didn't know where like what the actual track was, and I still ended up managing to beat them. But I don't know, it's fun. I wish they did more with the bike missions in GU. They're fun. Like, I think they're stupid to use for traveling a field in most cases, because you're probably just going to end up running into an enemy like 3 seconds later. I mean, I guess if you're like if like the field's like set up where like you have a main island yeah, see, I'm just going back the way I came, and the arrow is the arrow isn't telling me like where the or I don't know, maybe it is telling me which way to go. Yeah, because I was thinking the arrow was pointing me to where the other goblin was, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I win. It doesn't matter. We can just skip it if you want. What was I saying? Yeah, so like I guess the bike is useful when if you're like on a field and there's like an island in the middle, and then there's like bridges to like different parts separating from it, and you go to a part and you clear out the enemies there, and then you want to get like back to the main island. I guess that'll be fast enough, but I don't know. It's just, well, actually there is a bike part that lets you avoid monsters, I think. I know in the original series, one of the big things about grunties were that you don't run into enemies or activate portals, which actually summon the enemies. So that's cool if you just like want to go straight to the dungeon and don't want to deal with like the field portals and everything like that. Because all the monsters aren't just like hanging around in the original series on the fields. They're all like sealed in like these big yellow portals. Most of them are. Sometimes if a field doesn't have a lot of portals on the fields, random monsters will actually just kind of like spawn and like just kind of wander the map. I don't think there's like a limit to them either, but yeah, it's still like a little weird like thinking that there are like field areas and dungeon areas in this game when like the first series had, you know, you start out in a field and you make your way to the dungeon, and your goal is just to get to the bottom of the dungeon. Because like you could choose to stay in the field and level up if you want, like if you're like at a higher level area, or if you like want more stuff or something like that. Because then the enemies in the dungeon are usually going to be stronger than the ones in the field, and then they'll get stronger the further you go down as well. But yeah, I mean, the original series isn't like guilty of like padding and stuff like that. I mean, sorry, the original series is still guilty of like padding and stuff like that, so it like helps like when you just want to get like a mission over with, or not like a mission, but like, you know, like for whatever reason you went to the field, you want to get the area over with. You can just use the grunty to just go straight to the dungeon. I don't know, you really can't really do that here because you need to get those 3 items to open up the statue room door in the field here. It would be cool if you could ride your bike in the dungeons though. That I wouldn't mind, because how many like long hallways are there just like with nothing to do in them, like no enemies, no nothing. It's just kind of ridiculous, you know. But yeah, bike mission's over. I wasn't paying attention. I completely missed what we got. I guess it wasn't that important since I didn't actually switch it out, but oh well. So we are going to be fighting Ovan at the end of this dungeon. So I wanted to bring my my main preferred team of Adderley and Entrance with me. And Entrance didn't actually, for whatever reason, has not upgraded his lost weapon once this entire playthrough, so we had to do that. I wanted to make sure, you know, it's in the end, it's not really like a huge difference, but I wanted to like just be as prepared as I could, because this Ovan fight is actually definitely one of the harder ones in the entire series. The Volume 3 has 2 notably more difficult fights than the rest of the series, and I wouldn't say they're like, well, I don't know, because my first time playing them, I did have like a lot of trouble with them. This Ovan fight here, it's very similar to the one we did at the end of Volume 2. He just has a lot more HP, and he's kind of more aggressive. But like, I didn't really like strategize enough with the neighbors, I guess they're called. I always just call them Gamoras, because they're basically the Kubia Gamoras from the first series. I didn't really like prioritize like getting rid of the healing thing, so this battle with Ovan took me like 45 minutes to do the first time. I think this time it takes me like half that time, maybe even like just 10 minutes, but it's still like a pretty long, more intense boss battle than you'd be used to in the GU series. And then the second one, well, I won't spoil it, but what other major character have we been long overdue for? We'll actually be doing that battle not too far after this one too, but we have some dumb things to take care of before that happens. But Anyway, so this is the place Ovan wanted us to go to, and I suppose I should be happy that it's not a cave again. You know, it's kind of weird that they introduced this dungeon and we're still, like, going to caves and stuff, but it's a 3-floor dungeon, and then there's an outer dungeon on top of that. So, I can't stress enough that when you're going into this battle, please, please, please come in prepared. Please stock up on healing items of all kinds, and please make sure your characters that you're bringing have their status ailment healing magic on them. Make sure your levels are good, because it is a bitch having to go through all of this and then getting a game over against Ovan. There's one of those like save points right before you fight Ovan, but still, like, if you're not prepared with healing items and stuff like that, you're gonna need them, and it's like it's really gonna suck to have to like warp out of the dungeon, go back to town, stock up, and then go through all of this again. I mean, you'll get more levels probably, so it won't be like the worst thing in the world, but it's just like a waste of time. It definitely that's what stresses me out about this battle more than anything else, because when we fought Ovan at the end of Volume 2, we just basically warped right to a Lost Ground, and fought him after a cutscene. This one, you have to go through like an entire dungeon, and it's long, so please just make sure you're prepared for it. Over-prepare if you have to, because you know, like I said, it's more difficult than boss battles you're used to in .hack GU. I wouldn't say it's like an impossible battle or anything, but it can definitely catch you off guard if you're not prepared. I just really hate when games, like specifically RPGs, put you through a oh, hey. So, I was mentioning in one of the previous episodes about level 3 arts, and that's the last art you'll learn with a specific job. But yeah, Entrance just learned his, and now every time Entrance does a weapon level up, the recharge time on his lost art, and maybe even his other arts too, not that a character tends to use other arts, they always tend to use like their most recently acquired one, but the recharge time on it and its SP cost will decrease too. So I think I said earlier that its power increases, so that's that's my bad on that. I guess I was just misremembering it. But yeah, entrances, well, I mean, it's not just entrances. With the Blade Brander's one, Devil's Sword is cool. It says it creates an endless amount of rings. It's just basically like a flashy, like, hit the enemy with swords a lot of times, and it creates like an illusion in the air. Like, I think he'll do it now. Yeah. Like, it hits a lot, it's pretty powerful, it hits many people. It's a fun move, definitely, to see. But, God, what was I saying? Yeah, I hate it when JRPGs, like, make you go through an extremely long, dungeon or cutscene or something to a situation when you're more likely to game over or something afterwards, and you have to like sit through the whole thing again. I'm definitely I like challenges, definitely, but I hate when I have to like repeat things just to get to said challenge. God, especially like in like platformers and stuff like that, when
Haseo, use area hacking.
like okay, so like a good example for this was I bought and downloaded Super Castlevania 4 from the Wii U Virtual Console like a few weeks ago for Halloween. Since I'm trying out a bunch of Castlevania games lately, and everyone says that one's pretty good and it's pretty easy as far as classic Castlevania goes. And I was having a lot of trouble towards the end. There was this one particular level. It was like a dungeon, I think, and it's just a lot of annoying encounters for me along the way, against enemies, against platforming. I had to keep getting to this one section that I could not get at all. It was just like kind of a low corridor, a low ceiling corridor, and there were these other like spike platforms moving up and down. as you're going through the corridor, and I couldn't figure out like the best way to go through them. Actually, they weren't really like platforms. They were more just like stakes, like thin spiked stakes that were like coming down in like alternating patterns, except there was no real like pattern to it, I felt like. So I don't know how many times I must have tried that like over and over again to see like what would work, like going between, like I'd move forward until like the next stake was about to come down, because two usually wouldn't come down next to each other, so I usually like had room in between them. But I just kept messing up like over and over and over and over again, and it was just driving me crazy, just like how long it took me just to get there again, just to attempt it, and just like within like 10 seconds I was already dead. It's stuff like that just like really irritates me. I like more like Super Meat Boy challenges, or like that Castle in the Darkness game I was just talking about, challenges where like the actual challenge is usually like right ahead of you in front of a save point or like some kind of checkpoint system, and you just keep doing it and learning the pattern and eventually getting through it. It's not like going through an obstacle course just to get to the challenging part. Because like the more times you go through it, the more times it's just gonna kind of feel like discouraging when you actually lose the challenge, or it's just like how much more challenging the obstacle course actually becomes because you're just going through the same motions over and over again, and you start losing your cool. Because that Super Castlevania story I just told, like, I didn't just die to those stakes, I ended up dying to like just mistimed jumps and falling into like pits, getting hit by like one-hit spikes, just enemies knocking me back and like taking away my health. It's just sometimes I didn't even get to the point. Like I don't know, stuff like that really bugs me. Like I don't know. That's why it's like weird. Like I don't know. Me and challenging games just are like weird sometimes, because it's like it, especially with platformers. Because like I could do something like Castle in the Darkness and Super Meat Boy. I wouldn't say pretty easily, but I think I keep my head a lot cooler and can like notice how to do something a lot more quickly than in other games like say Super Castlevania that like move slower and require me to like go through a bunch of hoops just to like get to the hard part. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Because I consider platformers to be like my like forte, but I mean I don't even know how well I can even say that, because I can't even beat a single Super Mario Brothers game. Like to this day, I cannot beat Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, or 3, and it's so bizarre how I can like finish like a game like Super Meat Boy, which everyone says is like extremely difficult, and like other difficult type games, but like I still struggle with something that's supposed to be as easy as Mario Brothers. I don't know, just something about the way he controls in those games is just like just kind of awkward. Well, Mario Brothers 1 specifically, I feel like his control is just like super awkward. Like, I struggle just jumping on an enemy in Super Mario Bros. 1, and I have no idea why. And it's not like I've never played them when I was a kid and couldn't get used to the controls. I had Mario Bros. 1 and 3 as a kid, and we'd go back and, like, play them, like, every now and then. It was a game I touched often enough to become familiar with it, but it wasn't something, like, I was interested enough in to, like, keep trying to be good at. I was definitely more of a Sonic kid as a kid. If you couldn't tell, I've made a handful of references to Sonic the Hedgehog throughout this Let's Play, after all. But, yeah, I don't know. I'd still love to beat Super Mario Bros. 1 one day, but it's just, like, the farthest I've gotten is World 8 too, but then, like, World 8 just, like, completely, like, God, I fucking hate the Hammer Brothers Mario 1. I really do. And, like, every time I watch someone play it online, it's just like, this really doesn't seem so bad. I should be able to do this. But then I go to it, and it's like, I don't know. I can't do it. Mario Brothers 3, I feel like, has, like, a lot better control. The problem with Mario Brothers 3 with me is, I just get bored of it. Like, World 1, it's great. World 2, it starts to slow down for me. And then World 3 comes, and at some point in World 3 I usually just give up, because I'm tired and I don't want to play it anymore. And I know I could just use, you can save the game in the Mario All-Stars port, but, like, I don't know, there's something about, like, the era of platformers from, like, the NES and Super Nintendo generation, where it's like, it's like that's usually they're like the length of those games is usually like it's too long for me to want to do in one sitting, but it's not long enough for me to like really justify doing it in multiple sittings, and I usually like run into like a problem with it. And it's weird because like Donkey Kong Country, I mean those were like important games to me growing up, and they're definitely some of my favorite games, but like, they have a similar problem, but yeah, I have no problem with, you know, playing those over the course of multiple days. Maybe it's because they have so much extra stuff to do rather than just completing the game anyway, but, we're here at Ovan now, so, next time, let's hope our questions are finally answered and it's not a huge waste of time! See ya.